This is my Steampunk Junk Journal that is handmade. I'll give you a little tour of the outside. This is a faux leather, so vegan leather, no animals were harmed. And we have all these charms, which are lovely. Let me get those closer up. These are all hand done by me. Ribbons, beads, steampunk gears, lace. We have a bow, lace bow here. Lots of lace inside. Let's start at the beginning. We have cards here with whale tails. This is a sticker you can use wherever you'd like. It's a wax seal, steampunk theme. You have gold embossing here, which is absolutely lovely. This is the first time I've done embossing. I really enjoyed it. I thought the result is just amazing. Postcard, tag, I guess you call it, with a whale tail on there. Plenty of places to tuck right in here. Little tag, set that in there. Lovely portrait of a steampunk woman here. More embossing around the edges, embossing down here. And this is actually a little place to store things. This is paper that I made with some Tim Holtz inks, mica inks, and a little graphic of some gears. Here is some tags and a nice little tuck spot. We have a steampunk cat, and we have this tag with another wax seal. Again, we have some embossing here with gold, little golden bee. This is some vintage material from a Czechoslovakian book on architecture. Beautiful. Some other themed pages. We have some lace sewn into those pages from the architecture book. Some old print on here. We have some drawn on gears on this belly band here with this big tag with a nice embossed butterfly on it. Some black lace along the edge there. A little ephemera washi tape. This is a wall of pockets here. Lots of little places to write things. Don't know where that came from. Oh, I guess I do. So pockets to store lots of different things with the little thumb holes. And some cards to write down some things. More embossing here with the gold. We have an altered paper clip here, which is also an envelope to store a little something. Key theme. This is particularly lovely. It's a corset in a steampunk style, and you can open it and you have a journal spot there. Isn't that lovely? All right, little Victorian woman here. More architecture. Plenty of spaces to add your own here. We have this little pouch here, which has a little embossing on the bottom in gold, some stamping. You can hide whatever you want in there. Nice big whale tail on that too, which I love the look of. Little tuck spot here, little embossing, again with that paper that I made from Tim Holtz. Steampunk cat, if you like that. This is sewn in, the lace is sewn in on the side, which I love. This is the other side of that bag, which I'm not going to cut it, but you could just cut a small slit along the edge and you could have a little place to store tuck some things away in there. This has a stencil on it of gears, which is very faint, but it just adds a nice little touch. Again, we have that here, a little embossing at the bottom. On here, I did some stencil, a clock stencil and some Tim Holtz paste. And then I have little gears that I printed and embossed in gold here, which I think looks lovely. And then just some little stamping that we did here. It says Curiosity. I love that stamp. This is some antique sheet music. I'm not sure how old it is. I think it was from the 20s. And again, the architecture book. Nice little tuck spot here. I have some vintage tickets in here. Well, they're not actually vintage, but they look vintage. And then we have the men in top hats here stamp, which is lovely. Other vintage papers. Some stamping. We have that texture paste here again by Tim Holtz with one of his stencils, his gear stencils. And inside here we have a nice little notepad with, I guess, probably about 8 sheets. And then we have a little tuck spot with a lot of little tags. I think these came out great. These cards have plenty of room to just write whatever you need on there. This book is just, I love it. It's beautiful. Little sewing down the edge. More of the gears and our men in top hats. Another little tuck spot. We have this miniature little folio thing here. I put the sheets, steampunk themed sheets in. These are, a lot of this stuff is from my steampunk themed digital kit as well. We have some stamping in here. More architecture and that sheet music. Then we have some gold embossing here. The gears cut out with gold embossing on them. Some beautiful paper with stamping, airship stamping, vintage writings. More steampunk items printed on here. Let's see what we have. We have a folio here. So in the center, we have a little notepad with, I'm not sure, 4 or 5 or 6. Then we have our tags, which are absolutely lovely. I did a little stenciling here. We have our steampunk man, a little stenciling on the back as well. Very interesting looking man. Lots of room to write on the back. All right, we have a debossed page here. I'm not really sure if you can see it on camera, but it looks pretty cool in person. All right, we have a little pocket here with a journal card. We have a steampunk airship here, a lot of space on the back. The top hat with gears, again, little space around the edges if you'd like. I really love how this came out. These look so great together. And our whale tail tabs there. We have a vintage photo, Victorian woman, and a belly band. Plenty of space to store some extra things. Some empty spaces here. Another altered paper clip with a little envelope. Little spot to store something. More antique vintage architecture from that book. And this page from another book about tunnels. We have some pockets here, a little ticket. And here as well, plenty of space to write some things, store some other little things in there if you wish. Some vintage writing. More of that beautiful paper. Vintage sheet music. That's a cover of one, so it's a little bit more colorful. This is some stencil and coffee stain paper that was a gift and a swap from Crystal, I believe. Very nice paper. I like the way it came out. And then I did some stenciling on here as well, just to punch it up a little bit. I'm really pleased with how that came out. We have Index of Cities and Towns. That's from another vintage book. And we have a pocket page here. Lots of pockets, lots of places to write and store. Memories, journal, about whatever you want. Plenty of places for it. All right, we have a really nice card here with the steampunk woman. Plenty of space on the back. Tuck her in here. We have little tuck spots in here with a tuxedo envelope, some little tags to go in there. Plenty of places to write. I have this gorgeous stamp that I did on here. I really love that, with the antique ledger, vintage ledger there. Then we have our steampunk man. Again, places to write. We have another man, a Victorian man in a top hat. All these little tags that go in here. And then we have, this came out so cute. It's embossed, it's a typewriter. And then another journal card here. Again, that was the Tim Holtz mica ink, I think it was, the newer one, one of the newer ones. And that's what this whole page is. Then we have embossed gears up here. More pages from the Gazette. And again, I think this was from Crystal from that swap that we did. I really like how that looked on there, so I put that on there. And that's just an accent. You can't really store much in there. That coffee stained paper with the numbers and the vintage sheet music. All right, guys, enjoy.